Hey everyone, Alex Mitz here, back with another quick tip, but not a Camtasia quick tip. This is actually a PowerPoint quick tip. This one is centered around how to make digital note cards, and I think the most useful application for something like this would be for branching scenarios. So that's how I'm going to go about demonstrating this idea. You could use it for a lot of other things. For example, I would love to one day write a novel or a short story, and using note cards would be perfect for something like that. But the functionality of this particular thing is really cool. Let me go into presentation mode real quick and show you why. So I have my little note card layout here with my branching scenarios, and I can zoom in like this to each of these cards, which is really cool to me. I don't know if this is cool or useful to you, but I like having this sort of visual organization rather than trying to muck around with slides and linking to various slides. It's all just kind of here, so I can get a really good visual representation of the ideas and how they either flow in my brain or how they would flow in a branching scenario. And I'll go ahead and show you how I made something like this. So I'm going to start a new PowerPoint file here, and just as a disclaimer, I'm using Windows 10, and this is the Windows Office 365 version of Microsoft PowerPoint. So if you're a Mac user, this may be different, and you may have different functionality if you have this functionality at all. But yeah, with that, let's go ahead and get started. So I treat each regular 16:9 ratio slide like a note card. Note cards are normally 3 by 5 inches, which is really close to the same ratio of 16:9. I think it's like 16 by 9.3. So we're not far off. I think we're a little wider than the standard note card, so I'm not going to split hairs over that. So to get started, I'll go ahead and insert a shape for the header of my note card. I'll bring it up to the top and align it, bring it on over, double-click the shape, and I'll maybe say note card number 1. I like to change the font to white if it's a dark background, black if it's a light background, and I will bump up the font here. I know there's a keyboard shortcut for this, but it escapes me at this moment. From here, I'll go ahead and insert a text box, draw it out to be this. I'm going to do some lorem ipsum text, so equals lorem, open close parentheses, Control A to select all, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and I will paste it again. Gives me some placeholder text for later. So then from here, I will click on this slide on the left, Control D to duplicate. Same thing, note card, I'm going to change it to note card 2, but I'm going to change the shape fill. So let's maybe go with a orange color. Still looks good, white text on this orange background. And I'm going to do the same thing pretty much all the way down. I think in my other example, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's go 3. And you can, group these by color as well. So maybe varying shades of orange. Or, better yet, because this is going to be a branching scenario, let's do blue. Let's jump down to note card 4. And then, let's say this will be my left side of my branching scenario. So it'll go with my orange note card. Maybe a darker orange for note card 4, and then maybe a lighter orange for note card 5. Up here, and then we can change this to black text. And then note cards 6 and 7 are going to go with blue, so let's maybe do this and arrange our note card down here. Note card 6, I'm going to go with a darker blue, I think. And then note card 7, perhaps a light blue over here. And black text. All right, cool. Now this is where the magic essentially happens. I'm going to go up to my slides and hit Control N to make a new blank. Oh, wrong button. Pardon me. I'm going to right-click, do new slide, bring this to the top, Control A, delete. And now what I can do is I can start dragging these in. And this automatically applies the zoom transition to these slides in this particular slide that we're aggregating these on. So I'm going to just drag all of them in, and I'm going to arrange them loosely how I want them. We'll do all the organizational stuff in just a second. Drag, 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 drag. And I may not have enough space here. Unfortunately, I can't resize my cork board or my note card board. They all have to be the same size. So to get around that, I'm going to Control A all of these. Hold down Shift to uniformly shrink them, just a smidge like that. And this looks like I'm going to have enough room here. And I can format these kind of like their shapes. So I'm gonna, I kind of like having a shape outline for these. If you're the type of person who likes to have a little shadow to make it sort of feel a little more real, that helps as well. And then I'm just gonna start arranging these. So I'm gonna make that right in the center. Let's align these to the middle, group them, Control G to group. Align center as well. I have my alignment up here on my quick access toolbar because it's really handy. Click, Control click, Control click, Control click. Let's see, align middle, and I do want to distribute these horizontally like so. Actually, you know what? It's stretching off the page. Let's redo that idea. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Align middle, distribute horizontally, and I'm going to group these. So I have a group, and a group of 1 essentially. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to group these all together and align center and align middle. So we're perfectly aligned. Control Shift G to ungroup. Control Shift G to ungroup. Control Shift G to ungroup. Now I'm going to start inserting connectors to make my life easier. I used the sort of curvy connector on the last one. I think I'm going to go with the elbow connector for this one. So let's connect here. Great. Actually, I don't like the arrow on the other side. Let's go ahead and insert. Where are you? There we go. I like this. Boop, boop, boom. And I'm going to make this a black line, and I'm going to make it just a tad thicker. And we're going to go ahead and just keep connecting these as needed. So connect. We're going to go ahead and continue doing this. I'm sure there's a faster way to get to this connector than what I'm doing. I don't like that it's not cooperating the way I want it to. It's okay. Oh, there we go. That's the faster way to get to that connector. Yeah, unfortunately, this one's not a great example, but let's maybe we'll work with the curved connector this time. Let's go another curved connector. Yeah, I like that better. There we go. I like that. These connectors are a little finicky, but you kind of have to mess with them a bit to get them the way you want. If there's another PowerPoint pro out there who has a better suggestion for me, I'm all ears, especially in the comments. Now, I've got my one thick black line, which I really like, and a bunch of thin blue ones, which I don't love. So I'm going to go back home. I'm going to click my thick black line here, double-click on the Format Painter, and I'm going to start formatting these all to take on those properties. So now I have a pretty good set of note cards that I can visually sort of navigate. So start the presentation, click. I can use my mouse wheel to scroll up to zoom away. So that way if I'm very familiar with, here's my initial scenario, here are my first 2 choices, but wait a minute, I need to go adjust something on this choice for this branch. Just click in and I can kind of see what I am working with here. So, you can't adjust them mid-presentation, but, I do have the capability of seeing where this card is, and if I need to adjust it, right-click, go to Slide, and I can start editing from here. So, yeah, hopefully somebody finds this beneficial. I think this is a great way to sort of visually organize information and give you sort of an interactive roadmap for something like this. There are tools out there that do this for you. I think Twilio is one of those where you sort of have this already laid out for you, but I am a PowerPoint person at heart, so I like having complete and utter control over everything and no extra features locked behind a paywall. So, the paywall being that you're paying for Microsoft Office, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, if this works for you, great. Use it, love it, abuse it, and I'll see you in the next one.